The following program is hosted by immature, irreverent, obnoxious, and often disgusting young men. Listener discretion is advised.
This time on Nude Clan. I am your host, Caleb Schweiss.
I'm Joseph Collier.
I'm Caleb Craig.
Oh shit, he's not here.
Shall we play a game?
Player to another.
Turn on the TV, pick up the controller and play some games with the Nude Clan.
Welcome to another episode of Nude Clan. I am Joe.
I'm Caleb Craig.
Oh, not here. I am Caleb Schweiss.
Cameron Wilson has family stuff today, so he's not going to be joining us. But thank you guys for joining us in his stead. Today we're going to be doing the third part in the long-awaited, I hope, third part to the history of video games, where we're going to be talking about the third generation of video games. So I'm pretty fucking pumped for that.
Wait. The third generation? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Were the things before actually first and second gen?
Yeah.
They were actually considered first and second gen.
Yes.
All right. This is probably when it starts to get real.
Yes.
Before.
So, real quick, you can find me at Joseph DeGollier.
Me at Obsidian Bar.
Me at UFF Podcast.
You can check out nudeclan.net and join our forums there. Ask a question, which we'll get to in a second. And, talk about the show, talk about games, whatever you want. Also, twitch.tv/nudeclangaming. I'm having troubles today. Having Cameron not here is like throwing me off.
Yeah.
And then facebook.com/nudeclan podcast. That's nude spelled NEWD. And I think that might be about it.
Yeah, we also, this week, which we forgot to do last week, we have a giveaway that we're supposed to do for the reviews.
Yes.
Oh.
We are giving away a copy of Double Dragon, the epic $30 purchase that Joe here made to a reviewer of Nude Clan Podcast.
Yes. So we'll get to that at the end of the show.
Yes. Don't forget that.
Please don't let us forget. I say that to you guys in front of me, not to the audience at home. It's not there.
It'll be a little late if they tell you.
If you win the prize, please get in touch with us, and we'll get your address and we'll send it to you.
Yeah, DM one of us on Twitter and we'll shoot it out. So,
and if you don't get in touch with us within a week, we have to go to a second place winner.
Yeah, we do.
All right.
Just me.
We don't want to do that.
All right. So, what's everyone been playing? Caleb Craig?
Well, I've been playing a shitload of Diablo 3 with one of the listeners, Branny. And then I have been playing just a little bit more Castlevania Symphony of the Night, just trying to do some extra stuff. And then I played a little bit of a game called Akiba's Strip, Undead and Undressed. It's a really odd game. Well, it was on sale. It was like $1. So I was like,
it's on sale. I mean,
it looked
I'm
interesting.
going to lose money if I don't get it.
It looked interesting, so I decided to pick it up. And basically, in the game, you fight these other people, and you have to like aim your attacks at their clothes. And then you have to strip them of that particular piece of clothing until they are down to their underwear, and then they are defeated. It is very odd.
Sounds very misogynistic.
Mostly I've been fighting dudes.
Oh. So that's why you bought it.
So yeah, that's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still, yeah.
Do you like import a picture of me on there, and then you're just like undressing me over and over again?
Just beating the shit out of you brutally, just like disrobing you.
Yeah, that's how it is.
This sounds like a fucked up game.
Yeah, it sounds really weird.
It's very weird.
Okay. All right. So sexual fantasies aside.
Yeah. What have you been playing, Caleb?
I have been playing an unholy amount of Final Fantasy XI. Joe and I, for Ultima Final Fantasy, trying to finish the expansions to this game as quickly as we can to move on to other games. The MMO is going to be, obviously they're a big time sink, so we need to work out as much as we can with the expansions. And we've been doing a ton of that this week. I don't even know how many hours I played. It was a lot. It was probably like 20, almost a day, I would say, this week. With the 11-hour marathon, actually, definitely over a day. So I've been doing that. I played about 2.5 hours of Diablo 3 with my girlfriend last night. We started a campaign. Initially, we were playing with Caleb and Branny, and they were power leveling us, but that wasn't fun in the slightest. So I was like, I'm out. And then I created a new character and started the campaign.
With the power level, by the way. I'm letting you know.
No, you shouldn't.
If you wish to,
I'm not gonna
like 10 minutes.
I'm not gonna review the game if that's how you're gonna play it. I won't play it. I won't do it.
Well, it's part of the game.
It's only for the extra stuff, man.
We can do it after we beat the
really
campaign.
affect the story.
We can do it after we beat the campaign.
Yeah.
You fucking.
It's ridiculous, dude. I got up to like level 50 in
we're gonna
20
do
minutes.
It. We just won't tell him.
I'll tell. I can see the levels.
Okay, and you're on another
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
That sucks.
No,
Why
it's
is he
just,
level 250?
yeah, it's just not it's not fun doing the power leveling stuff, so we quit and started a new game. So far the game's fun. I like Diablo 3. I don't know if it's gonna overpower 2. That was an incredible game. It's gonna be a fight.
Yeah.
But
It's got to be at least Doom quality in order to overpower it.
yeah, it would. And let's see, what else have I touched on? I did do a little bit of Rocksmith. I played probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours this week, I'd say. Getting back into it.
Getting ready for the showdown.
Yeah, you
The
know,
Hangar 18 guitar battle.
In like a week?
it's weird to me. With that game, when I was doing it every single day, I didn't really notice that I was getting that much better each time. And then one time I just let it sit for like 2.5 days, 3 days, and then I jumped back on and I was able to do Blitzkrieg like just fine. So like I don't think I learn in the way that every day you got to do it every single day and you get better. I think it's like it's better if I give it a little bit of a break and then come back to it. It's like I forget those bad things that I started picking up on, those shortcuts.
Something I don't. Okay, you're right about the shortcut thing, and that's a problem. Something that happens when you're playing guitar or any instrument, I think, is that when you're learning, you got to learn how to practice correctly. So when you're playing Rocksmith, it's not a teacher overlooking at you or like checking you once a week, checking your, how you're holding the guitar and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's you and then your, guitar tones that are going through and the system is picking it up or whatever, however it works. So you don't really have someone checking you on that, which I think is important. Because otherwise your hand can cramp up because you're holding the guitar wrong, and like your fingers aren't going to be able to reach because of how your hand is positioned and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But on top of that, if you're going through all the songs kind of all the way through every single time, I mean, some terrible teachers think that that's the way to go when you're learning an instrument. But really, whatever you're having trouble on is what you need to continuously repeat. So I taught a couple of kids guitar for a little while, and what I would have them do, and something that improved my guitar playing a lot quicker than just trying to play songs all the way through and like, oh, I screwed up, but I'll keep going, which is an important thing to do if you're going to be playing live, is to just keep going.
Yeah.
But that's a different skill set. You're trying to actually like learn how to use your fingers and shit like that. You're going to have to like repeat little issues that you're having problems with. But like, let's say you got a problem with switching 2 chords, then don't worry about the entire song. Go back and forth between those chords with the amp off while you're watching TV. And then your fingers are just going to know those chords after a little while. They're just going to know exactly where to go and exactly how to play it.
Yeah.
So that's an important aspect that I don't think Rocksmith touches on. I think there is the riff repeater thing, which
Yeah.
is what it's trying to do. Is it's trying to, make up for the fact that there's no teacher there telling you, wait, do that again, that part. There's nothing kind of stopping you from doing that. So I think that's an important part of the learning, that maybe that you coming back a couple days means that you forgot some of your bad habits. So it probably fixed that. But then you should have been learning as you were going how to stop those bad habits by going, okay, I'm not doing this right. Let me just work on this very small part here, which for Blitzkrieg Bop, since it's 4 chords, it would be switching between the chords.
Yeah, and I've got it down now. The only thing I ever mess up on is I hit the red string, the bottom string, and sometimes instead of the 2. But that's, I don't know what I got to do that. But I can play that whole song now, like, just fine. I could just sit down and play it on the couch, like.
Yeah.
And it's easy. It's the easiest song in the world. Like, really, it really
the easiest
is.
song in the world. We're not doing the contest based on the easiest song in the world.
No, we're
but
doing
by what is probably one of the hardest songs on Rocksmith itself.
Yeah. But no, that's how I've been doing it. Today, I practiced the song twice through, and then I went through and I did the chords. I did too much of it, though. I did like the full chord set in the beginning of Hangar 18. And really what I should do is just do the first chord and the second chord and just do that over and over
and then
again.
The second and third chord, and then
the second, third, and fourth. I can do the first 2 okay now. I sometimes I can't put my first finger on the 1 string, on the 1 fret for the bottom string.
Just be glad you don't have my guitar.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you do have my guitar, but not my other guitar. It's got bigger frets, and it's like...
You have to push way hard.
It's intense. No, you don't have to push harder. It's just they're bigger frets, so you have to have fingers that are ready for that.
Oh.
So...
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe I'll give you my little student guitar. It's like for 8-year-olds.
Yeah, maybe.
Ukulele?
Almost.
It's like a ukulele that became a real boy.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Wow.
All right. Did anybody beat a game?
No, what? You didn't tell us what you were playing.
Oh. Well, fuck. I've only been playing Final Fantasy 11.
Oh, I was going to say, let me guess. 11.
That's it.
All right, well, if it's
And
just...
I looked at Diablo 3's case last night, and I was like, I got time right now. And then I was like, but I've been playing video games this entire week, and I need a break.
It was refreshing playing Diablo 3. It was nice.
Yeah, was it?
I was like, not...
I like 11 more than I did last time we played it.
I do too. I like it actually a good amount. I think it's a pretty solid game. It's just so much of it. You get kind of burned.
Yeah,
burned
we knew
out.
we were going to get burned out playing it like
Oh,
this,
yeah. This is the only way we can, though, if we ever want to get done with the games and catch up to modern FF.
Or just one-player ones.
Yeah, something. But yeah, anyway. Moving on. Anybody beat a game?
No. Nope.
No.
So, Caleb Craig, as far as a new clan is concerned, is still Hog Supreme.
Yes.
Caleb Schweiss is second. I am third, and Cameron is, of course,
A distant fourth.
a very, very distant fourth, since
Yeah.
he is not here today.
Though-
He's like even in 5th place.
Though, with all the 11 we're playing, Cameron could maybe catch up if he played something other than the game he's supposed to. Like if he was playing a couple games. He could
That would
make it.
require him to play games.
That is true. He doesn't game nearly as much as any of us, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he used to game more than I did, and then I started a Final Fantasy podcast.
Yeah, and then that's not going to be
And
the
then
case
that
for a
made
long
you
time.
superior.
Well, at least superior at wasting your time in a video game.
Well, whatever.
All right. Do we have a question for this week?
Yeah, we do. We have a couple little things. This one is more of a statement question from Shinru.
Oh,
He loves
does
doing
that,
these, yeah. Did you know this random fact about Destroy All Humans?
Yes.
Matt Harding is a young game developer at Activision. He was the one that came up with the idea for Destroy All Humans. He had previously worked on a number of games, and in a fit of frustration one day at work, he said something sarcastic about the state of gaming and everyone making first-person shooters, and then the studio, in fact, decided to make a game and give him conceptual credits for the game.
Really?
Instead of making a game about killing people, he quit his job and he decided to take a long life journey around the world and went to visit a number of countries. He made some videos of himself dancing in various world locations for his family and posted it on his personal site in 2004, which started to get too many clicks for his server to handle. They suggested he add music in 2005 and 06, and he created a version which he dances to Deep Forest song Sweet Lullaby, which won a Grammy in 1995, and uploaded the video online to sites like YouTube. He decided to title it Where the Hell is Matt? Similar to Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego games, which used that tagline. It went viral, received millions of views on a bunch of sites. You can watch the original one below. He kept making a new one every year until 2012 when he took a break. His 2008 video received about 50 million views worldwide. He was hired by Visa to star at a tourism promotional show and commercial spots with him visiting various countries. I think I remember seeing this on a Visa commercial.
I think
a dude visiting, because it has like the little name of the place that he's at, and it's like a guy. I remember something about that.
Considering he made Destroy All Humans, or at least like the concept for it, and considering that he is the big YouTube star for these videos,
Yeah.
I would guess that this man in real life is a big bucket of crazy.
Yeah.
Is that odd to think?
No. Apparently the creator of YouTube said Matt's video is his favorite on the site. Don't know if you can truly say that without seeing all the videos on the site.
We got some Ultimate Final Fantasy shows.
Yeah, it's bleeding over. Various celebrities.
10 hours of Gandalf.
Yeah. That one's probably my favorite. Various celebs have praised his videos, and he does not regret leaving game development and has made more money than he ever would have at his old job. It is kind of odd. That's a really weird story. I don't know how the hell he knew that was the fucking case with this guy. But
Yeah.
guy's
Cool.
big. He's got a bunch of YouTube videos. Where the hell is he?
That's crazy.
Yeah. But now the actual question. This one's titled Nintendo NX from BC. From what I can tell, Caleb Craig seems to be the only Nintendo user of the group, and mainly for Pokemon, though I'm sure he's mentioned a few others. At this point, I'm sure you've seen the rumors of the NX as a portable console that connects you to your TV, detaches the controllers, plays cartridges, and is possibly underpowered compared to the PS4 and Xbox One. Now rumors are coming out about AAA developers like Bethesda, Ubisoft, Activision, and Square Enix releasing games. I'm very excited about the prospect of owning one console and playing most new games on the same device I get my Mario fix with. I'm even willing to play games that don't look as good as their Sony counterpart. Is anyone else excited for the NX? Any thoughts on the console? And for the hosts, outside of the fact that you have to invest $299 or so for a new console, anyone on the show or forums excited to have a Nintendo console that will get all the games upon release?
Caleb Craig, you're the biggest Nintendo fan here. I mean, I like Nintendo. I just haven't had their consoles in a while.
In a while.
The last time I had a GameCube, and I did buy a Wii for the Final Fantasy games that
It's
are only
true.
on the Wii.
You do have a
Yeah,
Wii.
I do
We
have a
haven't
Wii.
used that thing.
I have a Wii.
You haven't used your Wii.
I haven't used my Wii in a while.
Yes.
Wicked cool. Go ahead.
I am not that excited, honestly. I'm not gonna wait. For what?
He's not excited. Boo! That's the fan community.
Oh yeah. Well, the reason behind that is that the Wii U, it sucked. All right. They didn't release any games for it. They had maybe a handful with like Mario Kart and Smash Bros, and that's like the biggest things that they released, aside from like a new Star Fox, which one of
Isn't
them
that usually their biggest things that they
one of
release?
them sucked, but that's all they released for it. They didn't bring out like a new Metroid. They didn't bring out the Legend of Zelda that they promised, because that one's coming out for the NX, and they're like, oh yeah, and we'll make it for the Wii U also.
Yeah.
Even though they said that it was going to be the Wii U one, and they were like making big promises for that, and then it's going to come out as the Wii U dies, which is not okay to do. They abandoned the system pretty much as soon as it came out, and that is not something I'm okay with. They made a huge miscalculation with the controller having a giant fucking screen in the middle of it.
Yeah, especially
which
for
increased
super-
the cost of the system
Yep.
probably by like the extra $100. So if it was like the $200 system that played like the old Wii U games just like better and they had a bunch of other stuff, it would have sold a lot better. But no, they had to have the special thing, which is the controller that was also a touchpad
Well-
that had the screen in the middle of it, which like Nintendo always tries to innovate, but
Right,
they
they
don't
do.
always do it in the best way.
Yeah, we
And-
need to.
And you know what? They also don't utilize their systems very well. I mean, look at the GameCube. It was the most superior system out of like the PS2 and Xbox, and I think only the third-party game of Resident Evil 4 is the only one that like came close to what it could do.
to actually showcase its
like
power.
none of the
Yeah.
Nintendo games ever tried to like be really good looking. They're just
Well,
like, oh well, here it is.
And that's not
It's-
really what Nintendo's about. Nintendo's
I
about
know it's
fun.
not what it's about, but why have a super powerful system if you're not going to
I
utilize
think the
it?
GameCube came out last.
It did come out last.
Well, that's probably why it was more powerful then. It was just cheaper to make it more powerful. And they wanted to have it at a competitive price point with what the Xbox and PS2 would have been at the time. I feel you. Like, I don't know why. It's like my computer. You know, I built it and I wanted to play League of Legends. That's what I played. I just played League of Legends. I could have built a $300 computer and played League on 60 frames a second every day of my life. But instead, I built a $2,000 computer, played League, and then finally eventually started getting into other games, which is
Yeah.
good. But Nintendo isn't at that point where they're really pushing it. The one thing that I think is promising about this is that it's going to be semi-mobile. And that's what they do well. They do the handheld. That thing over there, that 3DS that I got on the shelf, that thing's awesome. Okay, the Game Boy Advanced, awesome. Game Boy Advance SP, even more awesome. You know, all of them, they do a really good job of creating a handheld gaming device. And I think, honestly, they should stick with that as heavily as they can. And I think this is a step in the right direction as far as that goes. As far as me actually getting one on release, I don't know. I'm not going to buy a Nintendo NX and buy things that I can buy on my PS4 for that Nintendo. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
The only reason why I bought Diablo 3 on PS4 was the dodge roll function. It's not to play with you guys. It's not for any of those reasons. It's because there's a dodge roll and it's awesome. The PC one doesn't have it. And I looked at it and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this one because there's a dodge roll and it's a sweet function to get away from enemies. And that was my deciding factor. Like with the Wii, I'm not going to be like, well, do I want the better looking version of this new game or do I want the slightly less quality, less high def version of it? Like, what kind of choice is that? So if they do start getting more third party support for big developers like Bethesda, Ubisoft, Activision, and Square, are we even going to care? Because if it's inferior, why buy it on that if you have the other console?
I don't think we would care.
Unless, of course, there's some function within the game that works with the NX in a way that makes it unique. If there's some cool in-game function that they create, I don't even know where to start, but like with the Wii like giant mega pad thing, if there was something cool that the NX had over the other systems, then yeah, I'd probably do it. But if it's the same game released on all of them, it'll help Nintendo in the end. They'll get more sales for games, but it's not going to make me buy it for an NX as opposed to a PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
It's-
It's not a driving force. And Nintendo has screwed themselves over with basically making their systems not capable of working with third-party support, meaning that they made their software so alien that it made it harder for them to put games on there for third parties.
Right.
Which
And now that they're doing it, they need to keep up graphically.
yeah,
or else they're going to fall behind.
If they don't keep up, then they're going to be left behind.
They have to decide
and-
whether or not they want it to be first party or third party.
Yeah, and I don't want another case of them abandoning the system halfway through, like with the Wii U. And 2 years into its thing, they're like, "Oh yeah, we're going to come out with another system." So
Yeah, they started talking about it way early.
Yeah, so I don't want that to happen again. So no, I will not be getting one at launch. I will wait a while, and then I will decide if I want to get it after they've released a few good games, and not before.
Okay.
Nintendo fucked up for the first time, I think, with Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, when they were like, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, we don't need to do that.
Well, I think it was Square that chose that.
Well,
Square didn't want to do multiple cartridges because it was too expensive.
Yeah. So they fucked up with their cartridges.
Yeah,
instead of doing something
sticking
CD
with
based.
sticking with cartridges.
So ever since then, I guess there's just been I guess the GameCube was the last console from Nintendo that had a good chunk of third party.
Yeah.
Stuff.
The Wii had some, but
the Wii is
very little.
Hardly any.
Yeah.
It'd be like the Wii version of Call of Duty.
Yeah, like why would I play that? Are you fucking high?
Yeah.
Look at the way it looks.
What's the point of that?
So I would love a day, because I would probably buy the system if this were the case. If third party stuff went back to Nintendo, it would be a better sell, I think, for me.
Yeah, and I think that might be what they're maybe doing with this, because their first party stuff didn't really pull the Wii U along the way they wanted it to.
Well, that's because they didn't release a lot of first party stuff.
Exactly. So maybe now they're trying to go back to the third party and have developers come in and sell the console for the games instead of the console itself. The Wii sold because it's the Wii.
I think the best thing that Nintendo should do, and I feel like a lot of other Nintendo fans kind of feel the same way, is that they should just start making games and then release them for the other systems. I believe that they can still stick with the handhelds, still make the Game Boys, the DSs, whatever, and still make the games for that. But as far as having a main console and then putting Mario on it, it's not worth it to spend $300 just for Mario, or just for the 4 main series games they release once in a blue moon, I would much rather have those games be on Sony or Microsoft or something, so that everybody can play them, everybody can enjoy those things, and then you know, they would probably make more money if they had a wider
well, they would on each game, but they would lose money on the console sales.
They would lose money on the console sales, but if they're going to abandon a console halfway through its life just to be hey, we're making a new one, they're going to lose a lot of fans, because that pissed a lot of people off.
Yeah.
And that's not a good marketing strategy for anyone to do, especially since it was a third as powerful as the PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah, which is not even that powerful, honestly.
Yeah, so that's a really bad way to go.
Even on release, the PS4 it's half as good as my PC.
Yeah, the NX didn't have a good release either with its starting games. So
you mean the Wii U?
Yeah, the Wii U. So the NX, I guess, just wait and see, because we still don't really know that much about it.
Yeah,
it may not be exactly what we think it is.
Right, and it's not that we're not willing to give it a chance. It's that we are basing everything off of the previous couple consoles. And like I said, the Wii sold super well because it's the Wii. It's because of the motion sensor. It's because everyone can play it.
Yeah, it's something.
Fun.
It was something new, and it worked.
Yeah, and it's really fun. It's a great thing.
And there's a reason Nintendo had built up a huge amount of fans like it did, but it also lost a lot of fans with some of its weird strategies.
Yeah, so
abandoning third party, starting a new console.
Yeah, it's odd. Especially, the no Zelda thing is a biggie. There's not really going to be a Zelda.
Yeah, when you promise a Zelda and then you're no, we're going to a new system, and the Zelda will be on that one.
But it'll be on this one as well. It's no, that's the NX. It's released for the NX. They just happen to make a port for the Wii U.
It's going to be playable on the Wii U.
Right, yeah. It's that doesn't really work.
Yeah, it's what they did with Twilight Princess, how they had the main version for the Wii, but then they were oh yeah, we also made one for the GameCube.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
but that's still. I would still say that is on the Wii. You know, that is
Yeah.
the Wii's generation.
Yeah,
and
they
then
have
this
different
one-
styles of play. So, like, the main one that you would play is the Wii one.
right?
So.
And this basically means there's no Zelda game for Wii U.
Basically, yeah.
They are just going to release it on both, which means it's for the NX. That's what that means to me.
Yeah, that's how I view it as well.
It's kind of crappy, but whatever. We'll see what happens with the NX. I'll hold out judgment until then. I just know
Yeah, I don't know either.
this is how it is.
I know like nothing about this system, to be honest.
There's only been leaks of information. There hasn't been.
So it's like the
an
Nintendo
actual-
Revolution, huh?
Yeah, it's like the
Okay.
Nintendo
All right.
Revolution.
I wonder
Yeah.
what stupid name they're going to replace the Nintendo NX for.
That's probably going to be something worse. It's
Us
going to
The
be
there.
like
Deek.
Super Wii.
Hey, do you want to play on my Deek?
Super
Yeah.
DIQUE.
it'll be something weird.
Yeah, or like the Nintendo Us Them. That's what it'll be. Something like that. No, it's like a 4-player thing. That's what they champion, like a 4-player
Oh my
co-op
god, that's funny.
for every game.
All right. We're going to be talking about the second generation of video games. Let's get to that.
All right.
The fun is back. Oh, yes, siree. It's the 2600 from Atari. It's the video system with classics galore. From Space Invaders to cars that roar. A real hip joystick controls the screen. Solaris is hot and Midnight Magic's mean. And one more thing, it's got a special low price. Under $50. $50? Now, isn't that nice? The fun is back. Oh, yes, siree. It's the 2600 from Atari.
Okay.
Sorry.
What are you doing that for?
Just corrections from yourself.
Oh, okay. All right. So, the second generation of video games titled Enter the Cartridge. Because cartridges enter. All right. So, this happened around the same time as the golden age of the arcade games, which we touched upon last time. And the consoles from this generation improved greatly upon the Pong and Pong ripoffs and kind of the early Atari stuff that we were seeing before.
Yeah.
It improved in a few different ways. First off, they were microprocessor based cartridges, which I'm not sure what that means, but I think it means it's like not just electronic circuits. It's like I don't know, there's a microprocessor involved. I don't know technologically what that means. Do you guys know what that means?
I do not.
Not
Okay,
really,
well,
no.
that's like the big thing with this generation is that they were microprocessor based. In other words, I assume that just means better, right? They're just better.
Everything.
They did include AI simulation for what do you think AI simulation would be important for when it comes to video gaming?
Versus modes, like playing against the computer instead of just having games that you play against yourself.
Against random enemies.
Or each other. Yeah.
Exactly. So most games in the first generation had to do with you playing against either like some sort of patterned based gameplay or playing against another person like
Right.
on the Magnavox and stuff like that. Each person would have a paddle for Pong, and you would be playing against each other basically. But with the second generation, they actually involved some AI type stuff that they took over from the arcade games. They also had ROM cartridges for storing games. Now, this is important. The Magnavox Odyssey, although it did have cartridges of a sort, did not actually store the games on the cartridges,
Right.
but rather the cartridges that plugged into the Magnavox Odyssey from the first generation, those they had like a certain circuit inside of the cartridge, and it would just basically make a certain game come alive.
Right, it
in
would
the
just complete
Magnavox.
a certain circuit within the console itself.
Yeah, and these actually stored the games on the consoles.
Well, that is
themselves.
madness. They put them all in the Magnavox, but you have
And
to
you
put
had to
something
pay to
in.
activate it.
Yeah, it's like it's already there, man.
that's the first version of DLC right there.
Kinda, except for it's like all DLC. It's pure download.
All right, so screen resolution was 160 to 190 by 192 on these ones, and color graphics
Ooh,
were also
those
included.
Sweet colored graphics.
And in fact, the graphics were higher quality for some of these systems. The graphics were higher quality than what happens in the third generation. Some of these consoles could actually do up to 16 colors on their screen.
Wow. I only can think of like 4 off the top of my head.
Yeah, so 2 to 16 colors were available with these consoles, and they had up to 3 channels of audio, which was actually kind of a big deal. Now, some of these consoles, not as much. Some of them, especially the earlier ones, were mostly still bleeps and boops, but they actually more extensive sound in some of the later consoles in this generation. Now, the first microprocessor-based console in 1976. It's not the Atari 2600. Give it a guess.
Oh, God.
What was the first microprocessor-based console?
What year again?
1976.
36.
Think old-ass motherfucking consoles.
ColecoVision?
Ooh, close. Schweiss?
Just straight up Atari.
No. It was called the Fairchild VES in 1976, and it introduced, besides the microprocessor, what did it introduce? Schweiss, I'll give you the first guess.
Full sounds.
Nope. It introduced cartridges. I didn't give you a guess, Craig. I'm sorry.
No, you didn't.
What were you going to guess?
I was going to either guess cartridges or controllers, like gamepads.
Okay. Well, the second one may have something to do with that.
Oh.
The second console released in this generation was the RCA Studio 2. It had black and white graphics and was kind of just another Pong ripoff, but it did include one important function that the consoles up to this did not have.
Gamepads?
Sort of, yes. It did not have a joystick, but a 10-button controller attached to the console instead.
10-button controller
Yeah.
for Pong.
It wasn't, well, it was like, yeah. It's not quite Pong.
Pong
It was one of
2.0.
those, like most of these
Super
systems,
Pong.
it had like some games
Okay.
with it. They were all kind of, it was a rip-off system still. Cheapy kind of thing.
Okay.
That was happening a lot back then. So, yeah, it had the controller and it was actually attached to the console itself.
Yeah.
It wasn't separate in any sort of way. I'm wondering, I've never seen this console before, and I wonder what that looks like. I really do. I wonder if it's like a wire or what.
What's it called again?
It's called the RCA Studio 2. Are you looking it up?
Yeah.
Oh wow! Like the console,
That is fucking massive.
the
looking.
console itself has buttons.
Yeah. The controller is the console.
It's like it looks like a phone pad on 2 sides.
Yeah. It's bizarre. Oh, wow. Okay.
Anyway, so that was kind of a big thing, and of course later consoles would stop kind of using the main joystick type controller and would move on to something like that, but not the console itself attached to it in that way, except for handhelds, of course. Now the big console. What was the biggest console of this generation?
Atari 2600.
All right, Schweiss gets a Slim Jim.
That's right.
All right, so the Atari 2600 in 1977, and it was definitely the most popular console up to this point. I mean, this thing was big. I wouldn't say huge because we do get bigger consoles in the future, but this thing was pretty big. I have read the book, the Steve Jobs biography by what's his face? The big one with the big white cover on it. It's got
Yeah, I've
Steve
seen
Jobs
the
on
book
front.
before, yeah.
Yeah. Now, in that book, it's funny because Steve Jobs was actually working at Atari during this kind of big video game craze with the Atari system. And he was making games, I think. And it's kind of funny the way that Atari, when people talk about the old days of Atari, it was like this super drug-infested hippie culture that surrounded this system in this game. I mean, it was the 70s. Let's be honest, but like that was like That was the company that was putting out these games. And honestly, the Atari is so much further ahead than the other systems, and we'll get to sales in a little bit. I want to see you guys guess on the sales as far as what the Atari did and what the ColecoVision did and all that other stuff. What do you guys think? Now, the other systems, and I'll touch on them a little bit. You had the Magnavox Odyssey Squared, which was an improvement upon the Magnavox Odyssey. You did have the Intellivision, which was by far the most technologically advanced system of all of them, but there might have been a reason why it didn't sell nearly as much. How much do you guys think that the Atari 2600 cost at launch?
Oh, who answered the last one straight up?
I think you did.
I like the assigning. We go back and forth.
I'll go with $30.
Caleb Craig says
$45.
$45. What do
Are you
say?
nuts? I'm going to say $199.
Oh, you're $1 off, Schweiss.
Oh,
yeah. It was
dude, these fuckers are
straight
pricey.
up $200 for the Atari 2600.
Damn.
Which, by the way, is the equivalent to $781 today.
Oh my god!
Ooh, and people complained about the price of a PS3 at launch.
Yeah, you guys don't know.
I
nothing.
still complain about the price of a PS3 at launch. That was sick.
I didn't get it at launch, so
Jesus
I kind of
Christ.
did too, I guess.
All right, so the Magnavox Odyssey Squared. How much do you guys think that console cost?
Okay. 300.
Well, if the Atari was 200, I'm gonna say, oh man. So Caleb went 300, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 249.
$249. You're the closest. It was
God damn it.
$200. Once
Oh, wow,
again,
both
yeah,
200.
yeah, they were neck and neck as far as their sales were concerned, or not as far as their
the
sales
pricing,
were concerned,
yeah.
but their prices were concerned. They were definitely not neck and neck when it came to sales. Sorry.
Man, you're really excited about
Now,
those sales.
the Fairchild, which was the first console in this generation, technically, if we're going by Wikipedia. So the Fairchild, what do you think the cost of the Fairchild was at launch?
It was the first one.
It was the first one in this generation, first microprocessor-based gaming console that had the cartridges that stored games separately.
I'm going to go with 300 again.
300.
I'll do 350.
It was 169.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Of the more popular consoles of this generation, it was the cheapest. Now, the Intellivision. The Intellivision was the PS3 of its day.
Okay.
Okay?
The PS3? Okay.
This motherfucker could do up to 16 colors. Yeah. And honestly, that's better than the NES. Or that's as good as the NES that came out in the third generation. So guys, the Intellivision. It also had the most complex sound capabilities as well. It really was the best system overall. Mm-hmm. How much did the Intellivision cost?
I'll go 300.
450.
300 is the correct answer.
Yes.
By the way,
Horrible price points. You're supposed
yeah.
to do $99.99.
well, it's $299.
Oh, okay.
But 300 is, yeah. It was $299.99, but the others, it said it was like a straight up 200.
That is weird.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, I don't even know how much that is now, but I'm sure it's like $900 or almost $1,000.
That's disgusting.
Isn't that
dude.
sick?
How did these ever get off the ground?
They did get off the ground. They don't sell as much nearly as consoles do now. I'll tell you that much. But I mean, video games, especially arcade games, were a huge craze. And the idea that you could take the game that you were playing in the arcade and bring it home, I think is a big selling point for these consoles, especially in this generation.
Yeah, that's a lot of money, though.
Now, let's
Obviously, everything goes downhill soon.
And most of the popularity of these consoles of this generation were based on ports of either previous games and improvements to those, or on arcade games that were out at the time.
Right, yeah.
And let's look at some of the other consoles here. Now, I'm just gonna list these out because there's not that much information on these other consoles, except for maybe the ColecoVision. We got the ColecoVision, the Emerson Arcadia 2001, the Atari 5200, which was kind of an update, I guess, to the Atari 2600. It was before the next generation of Atari. The Vectrex. Sounds awesome. The 1292 Advanced Programmable Video System.
Lame.
God, they gotta give it sweet names.
Yeah. The APF MP100.
Sounds like a machine gun.
The VC400 and the Epoch Cassette Vision.
See, that sounds really lame.
Cassette Vision?
Yeah. Ooh.
I wonder if it's the 80s right now. Cassette Vision.
I wonder
love
if
that.
it plays cassettes.
I love that grainy image.
What are some of your guys' favorite Atari games? Or games from this generation, which are basically all the same.
Asteroid.
Asteroids, all right.
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man. Yeah. So there were basically most of these games, I think, when I'm looking at these, most of these came from, once again, arcade games. But these are the big games that you might recognize from this generation. We do have Asteroids.
Yeah.
We got Breakout.
Centipede.
Yeah,
sure.
Breakout.
Defender. Donkey Kong. Now,
Yeah.
this isn't Donkey Kong Country.
This is straight up your Mario.
No.
your Jumpman.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jumpman.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Your Jumpman, and
should
you're going up to get the princess from the
I think her name was Pauline.
ape, right?
Yeah, the
maybe
ape, yeah.
Maybe Pauline.
Yeah. I think it's Pauline.
Okay, all right, man. You know more about this than I do. Frogger.
Nice.
Yo, Frogger. Yeah.
Nice.
Galaga.
Yeah, Galaga.
Galaxian. Mappy. Mario Bros.
Mappy.
Mr. Do. I've never seen the original Mario Bros.
Yeah.
It's not Super Mario Bros. It's Mario
No,
Bros.
It's Mario Bros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it like? You're looking at me like you know.
It's the same. It's always the same. It's just very low quality.
Really?
It's
I'm gonna have to look this up afterwards.
It's like I don't know. It's like less than NES. I feel.
really?
Well, it is.
Okay.
technically.
I've never touched it. Mr. Do, Pac-Man, of course, Pitfall,
Nice.
Hubert, Space Invaders, Spy Hunter, and Tempest.
Tempest
Love
is
Spy
awesome.
Hunter.
Tempest is sweet, dude.
I thought Spy Hunter came out later.
What's Tempest like?
You're like on this, you're shooting at things that are down below you, but it's this weird panel. So like you're facing down in your ship, and enemies will like start spawning around the design, and you have to move your ship and shoot them before they get up to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Tempest is. It's kind of like a controlled
So it's like-
asteroids.
Galaga?
Kind of, yeah. It's weird. They're like the
Sounds
map
like,
has a
like a reverse Galaga.
the map has like a weird design around it, so it'll be like a like a 7-pointed star or something like that, and then you just like move your ship in between the corners of the star and you shoot stuff as it's coming up at you.
Okay.
That's what that game is. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Now, there was something that was also like a huge important step in this generation. So, what video game technology have we not touched upon yet?
Soundtracks.
No, not soundtracks.
Uh,
I know this is a weird way of wording this question.
yeah, it is.
What about like
the only way.
text? In-game text.
No, there's definitely been in-game text. We had that with earlier
there's-
PC games.
Yeah.
All right. We got arcade games. We got at-home consoles. We got PC games. What are we missing?
Mobile.
Close. That's pretty much, handheld games.
Okay.
When you said mobile is,
Yeah.
on your phone.
Handheld.
Handheld games.
So
Here
what,
you
the
go.
Game & Watch?
Maybe. So, the first handheld system with cartridges was made by the Microvision. Was called the Microvision and was made by Smith Engineering and sold by Milton Bradley, which is a toy company, in 1979. And apparently it was a piece of shit. Its screen broke all the time, and it was discontinued like 2 years later because it was
Wow.
terrible. But the next big kind of step would be the Epoch Game Pocket Computer.
Well, at least they moved off cassette.
Which,
Yeah,
by the
thank
way,
God, Epoch.
had tech comparable in the handheld device, had tech comparable to the Atari 2600.
Wow.
So
They were able to create a last-gen system on a handheld, basically. Or an early this-gen system. That's pretty impressive, actually.
it was mid this gen system.
26
The
is
Atari is
52
kind
is-
of like mid-level as far as the technology is concerned. But it had the capabilities in its, I guess, processing power and in its colors that the Atari 600.
That's pretty beefy.
Yeah, that kind of tells you
Yeah.
how like technology progresses.
Yeah.
Like they were able to do that like a few years later.
And the Epoch game machine, made by Epoch, they're from Japan, and so that was another Japanese innovation that was happening at the same time. Now Nintendo would begin. All right, Nintendo has held this title almost this entire time. The Nintendo would begin as the king of the handheld game series with their series of dedicated consoles called
Game Boy.
Game and Watch.
the Game & Watch. Damn it. Here's another Slim Jim for you, big boy. Other handheld systems that I don't have any information of. The NTEX Select-A-Game and the NTEX Adventure Vision as well.
Nice.
So we got cartridge-based handheld systems and cartridge-based gaming at home in the second generation. By the way, the second generation, I guess it's technically the longest lasting generation. The Atari 2600, I think, was taken out of commission in 1991. And the first system in this series, I believe, was in 1977. Let me double check that, actually. 1976. So as far as like what, I mean, these console generations overlap, but as far as like what console generation is the longest, this one's definitely the longest.
15 years. That's pretty long.
Yeah. All right. So now let's get to the fun stuff, which shouldn't matter, but it always does. We know the 2600 sold the most. What console sold the second most out of what we've talked about? We've got the top five here. We got Odyssey Squared, ColecoVision, Fairchild, Channel F, and Intellivision.
I'm going to say Intellivision. number two.
ColecoVision for me.
Intellivision was number 2.
That's the only other one that I've heard of outside of these history of gaming.
All right. What was the third? After Atari sold so many copies, and then Intellivision. What was third?
What were the systems again?
We got left the Odyssey Squared, Fairchild, and the ColecoVision.
The Odyssey.
I'm going to go Coleco.
ColecoVision.
Damn it! He was looking at you like with a little smile, and that signified.
I
that
wanted
it was the
to.
one
I
you
wanted to go
wanted.
ColecoVision, but like
Odyssey
it failed
Squared
me
or the
before.
Fairchild for last place and second.
Okay, I'm
to
gonna
last.
say Fairchild is last.
Yeah, I would second that, so he gets it.
Fairchild
is
was
a
last.
stupid name.
Okay, so the Atari 2600. Get this: 30 million sales for the Atari 2600.
Damn.
Biggest console or like up to that point.
Yeah.
Intellivision next at 3 million.
Oh my god!
That is a fucking space.
Yes. When people think of this generation, they don't honestly think of the others that much. It's
Yeah.
mostly the Atari 2600. This is really... Atari was king of video games for
A while.
A good space. A good 10-year space here.
Yeah,
ColecoVision, 2 million copies. Odyssey Squared, just under 2 million copies. And the Fairchild Channel F. How many copies do you think the Fairchild sold?
700,000. That's gonna be my guess.
He says
10,000.
10,000? You know what? You're actually closer.
I am?
Yeah.
Holy shit. What is it?
250,000.
Wow,
Damn.
that is bad.
For being the thing that sets off the generation, for being what was right when it came out, the biggest thing of its of its time as far as video game technology was concerned. Of course, I'm not sure, since I'd never lived through this generation, obviously, how important the technology versus price was, and it was actually one of the cheaper ones. I don't know. Maybe it's the Atari brand that sold the Atari system better.
Yeah,
maybe.
Most of those games that we listed were Atari games.
Right. So they were ones in arcades
maybe
already.
It was the arcade games and stuff like that Atari was already into. So yeah, Atari, king of this generation. Now, the second generation is an important one and featured tons of games and consoles. Of course, now we know him as a slew of classic games. I know that, like, with the PS2, I remember the Namco collection. You get all those old games on the system, and it's like, it's awesome.
Right.
It's awesome when you see that stuff. Now, Atari kind of started going downhill at a certain point. What started that, unfortunately, was the effect that all these consoles had on the market.
Right.
Now,
Too flooded.
I listed a shitload of consoles earlier.
Yeah.
Not just these 5 big ones, the 2600 television, ColecoVision, Odyssey Squared, and the Fairchild.
Yeah.
There were also like 10 others, right?
Yeah.
And there were tons of games on all these systems, and they were filling toys shelves. And then the video game industry crashed.
Oh, yeah, they were fucking expensive, and there's a shitload of them.
In 1983, tons of video game makers, they lost their jobs. The games weren't selling anymore. The market was just too flooded. And no one company was making enough money to, like, keep going, except for maybe Atari.
Yeah.
But even they had to make, like, a ton of cuts. And this is bad news. And Atari, by the way, never recovers from this crash. Not really. They have other systems that come out, but none of them do as well as the 2600. Unfortunately, so this crash was like 1982 and 1983, and it led to almost no new games in the console market being made in 1984.
Wow.
Ooh.
So it's kind of a downer note, but that is the second generation of video games.
Dang.
The Atari 2600 is king, mostly kind of piggybacking on the arcade games at the time.
Oh, yeah. I would say
and
definitely.
improving upon the first generation and giving us not only controllers that were an important innovation, but also, I think the most important thing, up until pretty recently, cartridges.
Yeah.
Yeah, keeping the game on a separate thing and then buying that separately or using that separately and putting it into the machine that reads it. So, an important generation, almost a forgotten one now, but very important. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
It is good stuff. Who won, by the way?
I think I did.
I only
You
got
did?
5.
You got 5 and
I got
Caleb
7.
got 7.
Damn.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Caleb.
So Schweiss is the historian for video games.
Yeah, I can't believe that
Air
last
quotes.
one.
Historian.
That Air Child or whatever the fuck.
Fairchild?
Only sold 20,000.
200,000.
Oh, 200,000. That is
250.
nothing.
Yeah. So
Although they could have still made money, I guess. I don't know.
yeah, the Intellivision actually did pretty well, but it didn't do nearly as well as the Atari. And I would say it seemed to be that from what I was reading, it seemed to be because of the cheaper price of Atari, the bigger name of Atari, the games that the Atari system launched with like 9 games.
Yeah.
And Intellivision, I think we talked about it. It was later. Intellivision came out later, so the Intellivision just was like, in comparison to Atari, was too late to the game, and I think that's why there's a 27 million copy difference in sales between the two consoles.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
Not only that, the $100 sales difference, which of course was like a shitload of money back in the day. Can we just say that?
Yeah.
A shitload.
Yeah.
Every console was a PS3 at launch.
Yes, yes. All right, well, that's it for my history of video games part 3, which is about the second generation. I was thrown off, by the way, and you won't have to wait long, guys. Next time I have an episode that I have to plan, I already got it.
Yeah, he's already got part 3 in his
I already
pocket.
got part 3 in my pocket, as it were. Shall we get fat?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so how are the goals going, Caleb Craig? This year you wanted to watch a shitload of animated movies. How's that going?
It is going. Can we talk about the plan?
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I think you know what I'm talking about.
We should definitely not talk about what we were talking about before the show.
But that's part of this.
I know.
Just leave that part out.
Okay. God damn it. Well, it's going then. Nothing special going on.
Did you watch any animated movies this week?
I did. What the fuck did I watch?
I don't know, man. I wasn't there.
Oh, God.
As much as you wish I was.
I watched Shaun the Sheep. That's what it was.
Sean, how was that?
It was pretty good.
Yeah?
It was like one of those Wallace and Gromit style movies.
Okay.
It was one of the few nominees for the best animated film that I haven't seen yet.
Whoa, wait. It was one of the... okay, never mind.
Few that he hasn't
that you haven't
seen
seen.
yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
For a second, I was stuck on that, and you had a little bit of a pause. So I thought you were saying it was one of the few that are nominated for animated movie Best Picture, and I was like, Caleb,
Well, I mean, there
all...
weren't that many.
No, there's not any nominations.
No, it was one of the. It's one of the.
That one started in 2001, so
Yeah.
don't have that long.
Well, I mean, there's like a few that don't make it into the nominations.
Well, yeah, there's a bunch, I would say.
Yeah.
Well, in the animation department, there's like a 50% chance you're going to be nominated for Best Animated Film if you put out.
Yeah, unless it's like complete fucking garbage, you got a good chance.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I wonder... Man, what if...
And if your name is
South Park-
Pixar, you got like a 90% chance you're going to win.
Hey, I think you mean a 98% chance. Because, dude, that fucking
Shrek 1,
Big Hero 6
right?
still stings.
And there was one where Monsters Inc. didn't win, and someone else did.
Monsters Inc. didn't win?
No, I don't think
That's
so.
fucking weird.
We don't have to go into the history of this. We'll figure it out later. Okay, did you have any other things you wanted to share?
No.
You are the best radio host I've ever met. I got nothing to say.
I don't know. It's just nothing. Like, because you cut out the only topic I had.
Yeah, Shrek.
Shrek beat...
Monsters Inc.?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know about that. Well, Shrek is pretty funny.
Well, what were the other nominees for that year? I think it was
looks like Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, great.
Okay.
And Monsters, Inc.
That's
Also
it?
great.
Just those three?
Shrek.
And Shrek, yeah.
Okay.
And
I actually think Monsters, Inc. I love both those movies.
Yeah,
I think
Shrek is
better.
great. Shrek is great.
You
I feel
think Shrek
I
is
feel
better?
like it's better.
I think Shrek 2
Not
is
by a
also
lot,
great. Oh,
but
Incredibles
I feel
1?
like it's better.
What is this?
Yeah, I don't like Incredibles nearly as much as Shrek 2. I
No.
think Shrek 2 is better than Shrek 1.
Shrek 2
It
should
is
have won
too.
that year, yeah.
Shrek 2 is hilarious, man.
Shrek the Third is terrible.
Yeah. Puss in
Okay.
Boots, though.
I'm
Boots
glad
is pretty
that
fun.
Finding Nemo beat Brother Bear.
Yeah, Brother Bear.
Yeah.
Brother Bear sucks.
Yeah. What was the other one on that one?
Oh, let me see.
Probably Hidalgo or some shit.
The Triplets of Belleville. I don't
Oh,
know what
I've
that
heard
is.
that's a really good movie.
That one should have won, honestly.
Yeah.
Finding Nemo.
So yeah, you're trying to go through and
I do
Watch
want
a
to
bunch
watch
of
all of those. Yeah, there's, I think,
that would be a good place to start. Just a list like this, kind of like how Joe and I do the 1001 movies, even because we
Yeah.
want to watch a ton of movies.
I try to watch all the
Yeah, smaller lists.
I try to watch all the ones that are nominated for Best Picture for the animated ones.
I'm
There's
starting-
a few that I'm behind on. So
I'm
then
going
it's trying
to start
catch up.
doing all of the Best Picture nominees every year, I think.
Have fun with Cimarron. It sucks.
I don't know about animated, though. Like, I don't know about every category, because there are some of those that I can't imagine myself watching. But then again, that the fact that they were in the Oscars means they do have some element of greatness to them. Or at least some people thought that they
I
had
don't know.
something.
I sat through The Iron Lady, and that was not good. And I was like, God, did everybody love this movie except for me? And then I looked at the Rotten Tomato score. I was like, nope, nobody loved this movie.
Yeah, just Meryl
except
Streep.
for Meryl Streep's performance, which is an amazing performance, but that movie
it
is
always
not a good movie.
It always is, though, with her. So, like,
Yeah, she'll be in it. I guess she was good in
she's like
Into
Nick,
the Woods.
She's like Nick Cage if Nick Cage were better at acting. She'll
Doesn't
do
matter
anything.
the movie, she'll just be good in it.
Yeah.
Except that Nick Cage is not good in everything.
No, he's not. He makes really bad
do love
things
Nick Cage,
much
though.
better, but not to the same extent, I'd say. All right, so you watched a couple or one animated movie at least.
Yeah, I
right?
can't remember what the other one is. I watched 2.
That's a good
But I
sign.
only remember Shaun the Sheep.
Cameron didn't show up today. Okay, Caleb's voice.
All right, so my goals, doing pretty well on the finance front. I think this month I can actually put in another $100 or $200 into my house and be just fine. I basically haven't spent money for about 2 weeks now, it seems like.
Nice.
I spent a bunch of money in the very beginning on food and like my HOA and stuff like that. Like I have a
Making it
bunch of
last.
bills. But yeah, I'm just trying to. I'm looking at things in the way of, okay, every dollar I don't spend right now, I can put into my house and not spend later and cut that much more interest out of the end game. So I'm really honing in on that. And I haven't. The only time I ever buy a drink is like when someone buys it for me. Like there's a girl at work that every time I go on break, I get her lunch for her when she buys me like a soda. So I don't drink energy drinks anymore. I've stopped that for about a week and a half, and I just drink coffee and that drink when I get her or something. So I have like a little bit of caffeine in the morning, and then I have some caffeine later. And so I've cut out that, and that was like $3 a day. On days where I didn't get much sleep, I was buying 2 of them. Spending $3 every single day, 5 days a week.
Almost $100 a month.
Yeah, just in energy drinks, which is disgusting. So now I'll just be a zombie or be super hyped on coffee, which is infinitely cheaper.
Yes.
Infinitely. So I'm trying to do that, and that's going really well. And also, I mean, I have to pay for school and stuff too, so I need to have everything else under control.
Save up a bit.
Yeah, and I don't want school to interfere with me trying to pay my house off early. So to do that, I just have to cut stuff, and I have been doing pretty well on that. Let's see, what else do we have? Semester starts Mondays, so the grade thing is NA.
Oh.
How many classes do you have on Monday, Joe?
On Monday, I have 2.
Oh, I only have 1, and I have Monday off, so that's cool. But let's see. What were the other ones? Losing weight was one. That's been going very well. So far, doing the Atkins diet, I think I've lost like 32 pounds total.
Yeah. Don't you just love people who say it's all water weight on the Atkins diet?
Yeah, no, a bunch of people say that, and
I
I'm
don't
like,
have
it's
30 pounds of water weight.
Yeah, there's no
How much
way.
salt are you eating?
Yeah, no. I don't even think Craig could have 30 pounds of water weight.
I'm pretty sure I don't.
Like maybe 15. Like that's a lot of
That's
a lot of weight.
Shitload. Just
Yeah.
water weight.
So that's been going really well. I'm no longer tired. I am actually thinking about working out at some point, but I'm trying to move things around to where I have time, and that part hasn't been going very well. But as long as I get the diet under control, I think it should be a lot easier to get into it. And I'm not tired like I was before anymore either. Like I feel just fine on this diet, whereas the first, I would say 2.5 weeks, I was just dead. I felt like garbage. I felt good, like inside, but in my head, like I just felt foggy and like I was not all there, kind of a thing. And that's something that I'm past now. So
Claritin Clear now.
yeah, Claritin Clear. That was a nice little plug. And yeah, everything's been going pretty good for me. So
It's good.
what about you, Joe?
All right. Well, I've been watching lots of movies, trying to watch
good.
them all before the school year, and
Gotta watch them.
I'm about 90 something behind. So
90 something behind.
it would take. There's only like 130 something days left in the year, and it would take 90 of those days or 90 something of those days to catch up. Watching 2 movies a day.
You just gotta do like 9 days where you watch 9+ movies.
10 days where I watch 9+ movies. Or 9 days where I watch 10 movies, which is 20 hours, and that's not going to happen.
You don't want solid 4 hours of sleep?
No. And the solid is never the case with 4 hours of sleep. It's always a torrid 4 hours of sleep or something
Spotty.
torturous. Yeah, or like the air conditioning's not on. It's too fucking hot. You keep kicking off the covers, but yet you need that kind of weight on you in order to feel comfortable in bed. So you're like, do I have the covers on? Do I have the covers off? I don't know. I'm really touchy sleeper, and 4 hours of sleep means I had a fucking terrible night.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that means. Or like, I accidentally drank a Pepsi before going to bed. I say accidentally, or like, I knew better.
Oops,
I was
slipped
like,
in.
oh, I'm really tired, but and this I'm thirsty, and there's no bottled water left, and the water in fucking Ogden tastes like shit. And so I'm like, oh, I'll just have a Pepsi, and then that Pepsi keeps me up for 2 extra hours. So
It's 2 hours extra of movie watching.
Yeah, that's one more movie.
Yeah.
that's a good point. That's a good point.
Oh, he's been going for it. I've seen the tweets. He's been doing.
Oh, I know. I've been getting the notifications.
So if you want to know the movies I've been watching some Hitchcock, watched Trumbo yesterday, watched Cruel Intentions, which was not great. And Florence Foster Jenkins, which is in theaters right now, and I thought it was freaking awesome. But the trailer for the movie blows, so don't watch the trailer before you go see that movie.
Blows ice.
It is a terrible trailer for a really good movie. So check that out. Like, the plot in the trailer is not the plot of the movie. Like, the plot of the trailer is like, oh, this lady has a terrible voice, and now we're going to make her sound awesome. That is not the plot of the movie. Oh my God. Like, the movie is funny and it's touching.
It's like
and it's very well done. It's by the maker of The Queen and Philomena. And the fucking trailer makes it look like this super, like, piece of shit TV movie.
Wow. That reminds me of the way they marketed Suicide Squad. They like marketed it as like a kind of like somewhat of a comedy, like with the team comedy type movie, but it's not that movie whatsoever. Like, there is like no humor in that movie, apparently.
Really?
Yeah, there's only like every joke.
You say apparently, so you haven't
I haven't seen it yet,
Okay.
but from what I've heard, all the comedy that is in the movie is in the trailers. So
It's a bad trailer.
yeah, markets the movie as not what it is.
So I do have one more thing to share. I also have lost some weight. And I'm going to go ahead and share this number because I hit past a certain number that was pretty big to me. I lost 41.2 pounds.
Nice.
Between May 24th and yesterday. So I lost a child.
Yeah.
Oh, God. And Caleb Schweitz, actually, considering he started the diet like just after me, he's almost lost as much as I have, and he's smaller, so like he's losing it at a really good pace.
Yeah.
So I am impressed by that, Schweitz. But I'm excited, dude, because I'm going to keep going. There's no stopping at this point. So it's like,
what is your end goal? Like, what do you want to get to? I know
want
you had
to get to a healthy weight.
Okay, so actually healthy, or
Actually healthy.
Okay.
Yeah, BMI and
Oh wow,
where it's supposed to be at. So I need to get down to 177, which I haven't been at since junior high, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been down there in a little while too. But yeah, it's coming.
So, I mean, I got my fattest through 2 semesters of school recently. I just started at like in the 250s after doing a diet like this. I went from 272 to like down to like 246 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I did pretty good. But then we were even doing getting fat at the time. And then the diet just had to stop because I wasn't paying for, I couldn't afford it. Right. And then the stress of school and all that other stuff on top of that, and especially the stress of last semester, I got so fucking
And the
fat.
friendly embrace of rice.
I got so fat. Japanese rice, the sticky rice, dude, it's the best. It is the best rice in the world. If it were jasmine rice, I wouldn't have gained as much weight.
Yeah.
But that rice is so fucking good. Be like, well, I'll have an extra 2 cups tonight.
Yeah, and it's mega packed, dude. We looked at it, and it's ridiculous.
It's like 600 calories for like half a cup or something sick. Or was a cup, I think, per 600 calories. Half a cup would be like, oh my God.
Damn.
But such good rice. And I haven't had that rice in so long. And nothing is calling me more than that rice is. But I'm okay. I'm doing okay. I got a system set up where my food is taken care of. So I don't have to worry about money right now as I'm going to school, taking the train every day. So yeah, I'm going to keep this diet going, and hopefully I keep dropping the weight. I did have a couple weeks back where I didn't lose any weight, and then I was eating a lot of salad and stuff with the meats, and I think I was going over on the carbs, with the salad, the stuff that was in the salad, and probably the ranch dressing on top of that. I was going over. I cut that out for like 2 days and just dropped again. So I'm doing really well with the weight department. In fact, I'm back to what I was, I think like spring 2015. So
nice.
Finally fucking dropped a lot of weight. My goal for this year was to drop 30 pounds, and that's when I was in the 260s. So I need to get down to the 230s still in order to beat my weight, goal for the year. I'm sure my goal was not gain a few more pounds and then drop 30 pounds. But
you made your goal if that was the case.
I did drop 30 pounds.
Yeah, but you want to drop it from when you set the goal.
Yeah,
or else it's kind of cheap.
Hopefully 20 more pounds by the end of the year. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I hope to lose.
Things are going fucking strong, so I'm very proud of this, and I'm ready to brag about it on our video game podcast.
Yeah.
All right, Schweiss, let's figure out who our contest winner is for the Street Fighter DVD.
Double Dragon.
Street Fighter is later.
Street Fighter is next. Double Dragon DVD.
All right, so we have spoken. The gods have joined heads and have decided the winner of our very luscious, very expensive copy of Double Dragon.
Which I really don't want to sign because it was $30 I feel like they're going to be holding a piece of history.
It's $30 plus the disc is like not signable quite like the other one was. It's like darker. So
right, if you want us to sign it, tell us.
All right. The winner is...
Or if you want us to sign a separate piece of paper and just kind of like stick it in.
Yeah, that'd be really weird. The winner is Amazing Cory B. And this is his review.
Yeah.
The Entourage, a video game podcast, a 5-star review. A group of guys sitting around a table using dirty language to talk about video games, and I love every moment of it. Well, almost every moment. Just kidding. I love every moment. I can't decide if they are serious about Joe and his dick drawings or if they are just referencing the movie Superbad. Jonah Hill did say 1 out of every 10 kids has that problem. My favorite host is, what does that say? I can't read it. At first, I couldn't stand this person. I found him very annoying, but 2 or 3 episodes in, he became the more relatable and probably the funnier of them. He also takes beating games very seriously.
I think we should give it to someone else.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you both.
All right, sorry, Cory B. No, I'm just kidding.
So he says, like Tim Allen from Home Improvement, hog roar or hog grunt. I think it's a roar. It's definitely a roar now. It wasn't at the time. Their game review episodes are very good. I have bought at least one game that we've reviewed based solely on our review. Tie-in between review episodes are even better than their review episodes. These do not feel like filler at all. That is a sharp contrast to another franchise-specific podcast that I listen to. I don't know what show he's talking about, but I feel bad for whoever it is. I strongly recommend that you listen to this podcast. Listening to this makes me wish that I lived in Utah and could just come over and play some video games too. It takes me back to the year after high school. Keep up the good work, guys. Thank you for that excellent review. It was a tough choice. You guys all put in great ones, but this one shines the brightest of them all.
So, Cory B., if you could message us.
Tweet us on our Twitter handles or message us on the forums. Either way, give us an address. Let us know if you want our crappy signatures, and we'll get that sent off to you. Yeah.
All right, so if you want our next movie, Street Fighter, If you want Street Fighter, you got to give us an iTunes review
Yeah.
and make it a good review. And we may, in fact, choose it.
Right. Any review after the last one, which was in July, will be qualified for.
We might have to start bringing on a certain song.
Yeah.
Yeah. People, I don't know. I know that a lot more than just the people that we have reviewing the show listen to it.
We do have reviews from other countries too, but those, I don't know if we can really.
Well, we can't send something to.
No, UK to send something is like $60 for something like that. It's nuts. So sorry, guys. We do appreciate
US
the
and
reviews.
Canada. We have no Canadian reviews, right?
Yeah, no Canadians. Yeah.
Hey, Canadians. Yo, if you're Canadian, please give us a review.
Yeah, you have a chance.
Yeah, all of you guys.
Yeah.
All the
Even if you're
Canadians,
the
yes.
only review, guess what? You get a movie.
Well,
That just means...
yeah, you would. Yeah, you would.
Yeah, that just means put up a review.
We do appreciate it. It helps the show grow. It helps us learn what you guys feel about the show, other than with our forums and stuff. Obviously, that's going to be one thing, but we like to see it on the iTunes, and it does help us out. So
Yeah, plus it gets a read on the show, so
yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
everybody gets to hear what you think.
Get some free
There
shit.
may or may not be a song coming if.
Oh, we'll have to come up with something even more atrocious.
Oh yeah.
I'll just sing.
Yeah, that would do it.
Ooh, you guys don't want that.
Yeah, if you guys think I'm bad, you have not heard.
Yeah, I can get pretty bad.
Always can are just.
I was gonna say,
That is not true. I am a beautiful singer, but when I want to,
not just on the outside, Kayla. We're talking about your voice.
Yeah.
we're talking about we're talking about my voice.
No,
Yeah,
no, you're a beautiful singer. That doesn't make you a good singer.
Yeah, that
that's-
just means you're beautiful.
Well, I am. Thank you for saying that, though.
I think someone might be a narcissist at this table. I think we. I don't know.
I think.
I don't know who it would
We
be.
might have to get the DSM-5 out. And, check the.
Oh, dude, every one of us would be, except for Cameron, probably.
Yeah,
Well,
Just.
like, Cameron's the only one. Everyone else is like, no, me. It's all about me.
All right. Is that going to be it for this episode?
I believe so, guys.
Okay. We will. Real quick, nerdclan.net is where you check out our show, and if you could support it that way, and you can
do all sorts of
you
things.
can do all sorts of things. Join the forums, ask a question. You can tweet me at Joseph Degolier.
Me at Obsidian Bar.
Me at UFF Podcast. Check out our page. Check out our page on Facebook, facebook.com/newdclangaming. You can follow our streams, mostly Caleb Craig, actually.
Yeah, because nobody else is fucking doing it.
At twitch.tv/newdclangaming. And I think that's it.
Yeah.
No
All right.
YouTube stuff yet. I don't know about doing it.
Maybe, eventually.
If you want 6 hours of Craig playing a game, I guess.
Yeah.
We might have to wait for a Patreon goal or something
Yeah.
for that. Yeah. When we eventually do Patreon for this
If we
show.
do, yeah.
Yeah, we're getting close to that download amount though that we were looking at.
Yeah, we are.
nice.
We're getting there, guys. And we have some sweet, sweet ideas. So spread the word.
Yes, spread the word about the nude and the clan.
Give us a
Yeah.
goddamn review.
Please, God. We will see you guys next week.
Enjoy the nude.
Live always in the nude.
Yeah!